people here I want to recognize. I want to recognize another group, a really important group to Michigan Lutheran High School. Can you hear me? Thank you. When you walked into ML today, I'm sure it looked a little bit different, didn't it? There was a redesign that happened in our center hallway, and that cost money. Everybody, shush people next to you. Thank you. Thank you. A lot happens over on Glenlord Road, really close in Stevensville to the Lighthouse Attic. And if you've ever gone in there, you know that you can get a lot of goodies. You get a lot of things are donated there. A lot of time is spent by volunteers, complete volunteers who love Michigan Lutheran and spend their time there every single day raising money in that resale shop for things that happen here at ML. Last year, we got a donation of $45,000 from the Lighthouse Attic. I approached them recently and I said, I know we don't have our meeting for next year, but can I get the money early? And they said, yes, you may. They wanted to know what it was for, and everything that you see in that center hallway is completely 100% donated by the time, effort, love, and everything that they do at the Lighthouse Attic. This table right here and a number of other tables tonight were also donated by them. So would the board of the Lighthouse Attic please stand up so that we can recognize you as well. And the volunteers. Thank you. We're blessed in another way tonight. We really are. We have what I would consider a really good friend of mine, but one of what I would also consider a premier example of a Lutheran education leader, and a premier one in today's day and age, Dr. Dan Johnson, who's the president of Wisconsin Lutheran College. He's a humble man, so I'm sure that he would disagree with some of the things that I'm saying, but I've had the privilege of being around many leaders in my 24 years within the school system that we're blessed to have in the Wells, and you're not going to find one better than Dan. His confidence in his Lord, his unshaking stance of the value of Lutheran schools, his servant heart, they're unparalleled, in my opinion. So when we were going to be celebrating 50 years in 2020, immediately my first thought said, this group needs to hear Dan Johnson speak. And then COVID hit. And we had to hush that celebration. So when I knew that we were going to try this, I reached out to Dan right away, and he was all in. All in to be able to be here tonight, and he agreed. He graciously accepted our invitation to take up the call to be our keynote speaker tonight. He served faithfully with Jana, his wife, by his side at a number of different schools and many different positions. That sets him up, I believe, to be where he is today. He served 2 years at one of our high schools in Nebraska Lutheran, 3 years as a K-8 principal in a one-room school in Clearwater, Florida. 6 years as an assistant principal at Shoreland Lutheran High School, and 9 years at Arizona Lutheran Academy, his alma mater, where that's where I got to know Dan and got to know him in his servant heart. Now, 15 years, he served as the president of Wisconsin Lutheran College, and I'm going to ask Dan now to come on up, and let's give him a warm, tight welcome to Dr. Dan.
Hey everyone. Wow. It's loud. Hey, first of all, thank you, Matt, for providing me the opportunity to be with you tonight. I know there's no more difficult time to talk than after an amazing meal, and that was an amazing meal. Would you not agree? You know, as Matt noted, got an email in November of 2019, got canceled. 2020 came around, 2021, 22, and here we are. So we made it. So congratulations to just having this amazing night. But, you know, I wanted to think about a little bit about why you're here tonight. And, you know, I served at Lutheran high schools in Nebraska, Shoreland, ALA. Our kids go to Calvary Lutheran High School. Every one of those high schools have founders of mothers and fathers and pastors of 50 plus years ago at all these places. And you know, Jan and I drove here today. We've never been here before. We didn't know anything about Michigan Lutheran. And yet I know everything about Michigan Lutheran. Because the beauty of what we do together and the common heartbeat that we have for our Savior Jesus is just remarkable. And when I thought about what I might talk about tonight, I thought, do I talk about through the lens of role as principal or president? But I'm going to just talk to you as a dad. You know, Jan and I have blessed with 3 kids. Our oldest son is 25, went to WLC. He was in Lutheran schools his entire life. He's engaged to a girl he met at WLC. She's finishing up PA school at Marquette. They get married this July. Middle daughter, Cassidy, 24, got married this summer, teaching 2nd grade. Married a WLC guy who he met in a school just like this at Calvary Lutheran High School. The youngest daughter, freshman, WLC, nursing student. Why we are so blessed. And so we've had a chance to kind of reflect kind of on the back end of our Christian education journey for our kids. And you just kind of go, wow, what just happened? And was all of this worth it? And I'm just going to tell you what these schools have meant to our family. There are no words to possibly express. And there's 3 reasons why we're so grateful as parents to have our kids have a school just like this. And the first one is this whole notion of faith. You know, I think as any parent in here, there's no greater hope and dream than prayer. And in the end, the only thing that matters is that they are with us in heaven one day. Not correct? And we just know that we need all the help that we could possibly have to make that happen. And I will tell you, this whole time right now, man, this world is just so broken. It is just so messed up. And as parents, this is just a tough time for kids to be in a high school or grade school or college. And yet we also know that all this chaos that's going on in the world out there, there's only one solution, and his name is Jesus. And to think that at this place, that we can take every thought and make it captive to Christ, and their faith can be affirmed and not teared down. I tell you, Jan and I just would not trade our Christian educational journey with our kids for anything. And I know that you do too. But the second reason why we're so grateful that our kids have experienced this place at places like this is this place is really real life. You know, nothing drove me more nuts as a principal or president, you know, when something happens in our schools, because this place is not perfect. And somebody might just say, you know, I can't believe that this would happen in a place like that. I'm like, well, what's so surprising about it? We have flawed, broken kids. We have sinful administrators and teachers. No, this is not a perfect place. But what we treasure as parents and what you have here is when life does not go well, when mistakes are made, in some cases by our own kids, or the sins and mistakes of others, that at a place like this, there is a law and a gospel, consequences, yes, but there's grace. Because this is real life, and things happen. You know, I think one of the things that we're so grateful for too is that our kids have been at a place like this when real life comes in the form of, in some cases, tragedy. You know, we served at 5 different schools, and at every one of them, there's been some really tragic things happen. loss of a parent of our kids. In some cases, a loss of another student. Just last week at WLC, we had a memorial service on Tuesday night. This is what, Saturday, just this last Tuesday. 22-year-old young lady, tragic accident, was in a coma for 7 months, and she went home to be with Jesus. We had a memorial service at our college. Do you know the gift that you have here and we have in our Lutheran schools? To be able to really help all of us make sense of something that doesn't make sense. To be able to recognize, we're running out of batteries here, I'm thinking. To be able to, at a college, remind these students, John 16:33, in this world, these are Jesus' words, not mine, but in this world, you will have trouble, right? We know the Christian walk is a tough walk. And yet we also know that he says, take hope, have heart, have overcome the world. And so the blessing of Christian education of a place like this, which is real world, is you have an opportunity to help students navigate real tragedy. I remember vividly when Matt was down in Grace and Glendale. I was the principal of Arizona Lutheran Academy, a school just like this. 9/11 happened. I remember shutting the school down, going to our gym, and really helping our students work through a national tragedy like that. But I remember going home, and our kids were just diapers at the time. I so want this for my kids and our kids to be able to go through things like that with Christian teachers and Christian friends side by side. Because reality is, this is real life. But the other blessing of a place like this is when real life happens, because things like a pandemic happen, right? Now, I don't know if you have kids that are in the school right now, but I'm telling you, we have said so many times how grateful and blessed we were that our kids were in our schools during COVID. Because our kids didn't miss a beat. And when the whole world was fearful, and yes, it was serious, obviously we take it serious, but we didn't freak out. And we had teachers that were not interested in themselves, but were going to do anything and everything for the sake of our kids. And so for us as parents to have our kids at a place called WLC or Michigan Lutheran or what have you, because if it's not a pandemic or it's not COVID, it's going to be something next year. What a witness that we've had and your schools have. And I'm convinced it's a lot of the reasons why a lot of our collective schools are growing is because what they witnessed in other systems, when we just have the calm courage, God has this, we're going to figure it out, and we're going to deal with real life, because this is, in fact, real life. But the other thing that I would just say that I'm so grateful as parents to have our kids at a place like this is we're experiencing a cultural tsunami right now. And it's in a fire hose. And I cannot believe how quickly, from 0 to 100 miles an hour, this whole world and its cultural thrust upon us in areas such as, for us as a school at Michigan Lutheran, to defend the sanctity of life, to have a school like Michigan Lutheran that defends the sanctity of a marriage between a man and a woman, to be able to have a place like Michigan Lutheran that with clarity of the gospel, that we understand that Genesis 1, that God made little boys, and little girls. And what I just shared with you, do you know what a freak of nature we are? And the gift of God that we have at a place called a high school, a Christian high school, that every day, every year, has this for 52 plus years, has an opportunity to share with teenagers at a really critical juncture the greatest love story ever told of a gift of a Savior, forgiveness of sins, peace that we have. That is such a gift, guys. And that's what this school does, but it's what the world has just been running against, and we're getting it thrown in our faces in a big, big time way. As a Christian university, you have to understand, Christian higher ed is kind of ground zero, honestly. We get $9 million of federally funded loans. And because of that, the government is therefore telling us who and we should hire, and who and how we should enroll, and what our schools should be, and we're saying no. We have a First Amendment freedom in this country. And our theme this year, our strategic plan, our campaign for this coming year, we purposely entitled it Courageously Christian. And I'm sharing that because Michigan Lutheran, this is a moment for all of us as Bible-believing Christians to be courageously Christian. And you know what? Our kids, let's be honest, everybody is being numbed and dulled by this craziness that's around us. And again, the only solution through this really complex moment is the grace and the love and the forgiveness of the Savior, and the authenticity and the belief in Genesis and everything through Revelation. And this high school offers that every day. And do you realize how unique that is? And do you realize what a blessing that is? And so, Jan and I, when we think about the blessings of Christian ed for our kids, is the fact that our kids like yours in Christian schools like yours, our students can help make sense of this craziness, that the world seems like it's out of control, but it's not. And that we have a Lord and a Savior that is part of all of this, and He's the only solution to this mess. And you get every day, it's not our right to exist, but we get to do this every day at a place called Michigan Lutheran. And we should be just so grateful for that. And I just want to note that. But the third reason why Jan and I are just so grateful for places like this, for our kids and yours, I'm telling you, the students that come out of this place, and I know because they've matriculated to WLC, these kids and this academic program, y'all can go toe-to-toe with anybody academically. This is a high school. It is a school. There is an expectation that parents have when they come here. And our kids have benefited from Wells Christian education, kindergarten through 16. And I'm telling you, your kids are being powerfully equipped. And so, in summary, I just want to say why this place matters is because of the faith and the love of Jesus that is the foundation. I didn't know this place coming here till today, but I know y'all really well. You know why? Because our Christian schools around this country, just like this, have one singular heartbeat, one singular mission. And I'm telling you, these founding fathers and mothers 52 years ago, those of you may be in this room, I'm sure many of you are going, never in a million years did you ever dream what God would do in this place 52 years later. But I also want to remind you, if this place mattered 52 years ago, it matters today. I'm going to tell you more than ever. And so the opportunity to be here tonight is really three things that I want to just kind of share with you, because the third thing is just academic excellence, and I can talk all night long about that, but that's a given. So this place is special because of the faith in Jesus. It's real life, and we want our kids to go through real life here, not elsewhere, and because of the academic excellence that we all have. But finally, we're here to raise money for a really special place. But there's three things I want you to take away from here tonight. First of all, I want you to always keep this place in your prayers. The devil does not want this place to work. And the prayers of God's people of 52 years ago, even till today, are being realized and lived out. It's remarkable. But the second thing I want to just always encourage any group of people who are passionate about Christian education is to understand that the people that serve here and come here every day need your encouragement. Matt and all this group makes this look really easy. This is really not easy. This is some of the hardest work that any people could ever be called to do, and they called because they're served by God to do that. But encourage them. Encourage this place with people in your community. You all know friends that have kids that need to be here. So pray for this place and encourage others. But the final thing is, Look, if there is no margin, there's no ministry here. And the fact of the matter is, you all have been remarkably blessed by God to be a blessing to other people and to be a blessing to this place. And I just know from all my moments of service in the Lord's church, there are people here, needle movers, that God puts in just the right time. And I was introduced to one here today. This all doesn't just happen. God orchestrates all of that, right? And so I'm going to encourage you tonight to boldly be a blessing, because you are blessed to be a blessing to this place. And so those paddles that you see below, they should be flying all night long, people. All right? This is a fundraiser to help encourage, and you might think it's to help put a roof on a building. Wow, that's real exciting. But you know what? This mission and this ministry needs a good roof. But this place needs you for the long haul. Associations of churches can only do so much. And there is no revenue. It's revenue from students, from churches, and from you. So I'm going to ask you to just encourage you to boldly encourage you to support this place in a big, big way. But if you got a drink in your hand, if you could please grab it. I just want to propose a toast here before I'm done. To my new friends here at Michigan Lutheran. What a blessed place this is, because first of all, the Jesus, the heart that lives here. It's real life, and you need our kids to go through real life here. But the academics here are toe-to-toe and awesome with anybody. Please pray for this place, encourage it, encourage our people that serve here. But I'm going to ask you to boldly, in God's name, in God's honor, to support this place in a big, big way. So Jan and I are honored to be here. Like I said, we drove here going, don't know a whole lot about Michigan Lutheran, but I've served in enough of these Lutheran high school federations. These are so special moments when there's people coming back to say, Lord, thank you. So on behalf of Jan and me, grateful to be here. God bless your night, and go Titans. Here we go.
I'm not the MC. Where's Ben? Eating, maybe? Yeah, finally. I don't know. Getting his dessert. I knew we'd be blessed to have Dan here. That perspective that he has from higher ed all the way down is really, really special. So thank you again, Dan, for being here. I believe the next thing up is we're going to start with some games and some, with that, what is that? Oh, there's more drink tickets up here. There he is. Yeah, come on up, man. Come on up.
All right, up next, we are going to do the heads and tails game. So if you have on a purple or silver necklace that was purchased at the entry gate, we are now going to play heads or tails. So this is how we're going to do it.